Gotta stop that annoying, whatever that is. What is that? Yeah, just, I feel like everybody like hates things. Like they want to hear their. Anyways.
So I'm not gonna waste time choosing fonts.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's compare this screen login. Welcome. Is it welcome?
So technically, it's an unsigned in user home. I don't know how you want to say it, but like if you're signed in, you should go somewhere else. Okay. And now something, okay, yes, click done. Good. Now something to kind of experience is like, so I usually use share instead of preview because I think it's like slightly nicer, but let's see what happens. Let's take a look at your screen. Just go to the right screen.
Yeah.
So how do you know how to fix that?
I know. So I'll select the screen. Maybe.
No, here you click it. It's kind of stupid. You actually click it. And there you go. So this should be not the home screen because that's when you're logged in. Exactly.
But wouldn't the welcome screen be the splash?
Well, that's a question if we want to make splash. So I usually make splash. Do you want to make splash? So let's make splash. So then there's just nothing, but then we need to make a splash that feeds into it. It's going to bug me if we don't put a picture in the picture spot.
So this should be our home.
No, because home, okay, home should be after you're signed in, where you like actually enter the tweets, right?
So
and actually home should be a splash too. Yeah. So it's like a different, it's like a river that feeds to the same place, but in different. Just do Twitter. Let's like try to make it like Twitter-ish. What does just Twitter bring us up? Bring me to the logo. There we go. Perfect. Love it. Okay, something kind of cool that I become kind of obsessed with is just to be aware it allows GIFs. So say you want to make like a you know kind of fancy like active page, like especially for Splash, it can kind of be cool. It could be something to get in habit for yourself. Like I don't know if you know how to make GIFs.
Really?
Yeah. It's one of those things that kind of like amaze the client. Like it's like say the Uber one when it comes in, and something that I've gotten big into is using GIF videos as a way of disguising loading time. And what I've realized is even like loading bars and stuff are GIFs.
Yeah. There's no resources to download GIFs from ADALO.
No, I use GIF. GIPHY. G. And then I'll usually download a couple and see what the sizes are, because it's amazing how the size can be different. But you can even just look at like Twitter GIF or something. And then you right click, it has to be like fully done, but then you should have a save favorite chats. By the way, Harry's gonna pay me for my initial lecture. He thinks I think he's just given up because he hated that I was doing it for a long time. But like, I just think, okay, now this is kind of cool. You don't actually necessarily want to make it an image, is you can make it a background. So if you go to the splash screen, then edit styles. Then choose image. No, yeah. Cool. Nice. Okay. Now, something that I think you want to be mindful of is that this is going to get cluttered really fast. So you might actually want to think about the spacing between your screens.
Yeah.
I kind of treat it like little maps where like I'll zoom out and zoom in. So like you might start adding screens all around. So like what I actually do is I'll have like a horizontal. Yeah, exactly.
This is actually what we are doing.
I would make more space between this, especially because sometimes you reload it too. If it's like it'll load on top of each other. Cool. And something that I do that's kind of fun is if you look in settings, and maybe you already have it on, go down. Do display settings. Okay, so you have connections. So it's on, but it means you have no connections. Yeah. So I guess there needs to be a connection, doesn't there? Exactly.
How do you do that? I think we'll use not use screen.
This is another stage, like from a design perspective, what do you want your transition to design language to be? And it's like a real sign of like, like having it consistent. And myself, I like none. I usually do none. But for sure do it, into your aesthetic. Now, something to think about here too in the future is you can also like be doing, so with these actions, if someone's coming here, you can do automatic things. So like say often like on the splash screens, I'll have an update user and have it be, the version of the app they're on. So that like, when we're looking at the user account and they're on an Android app or iOS app, we can know what version they're on, for example. Here, yeah, that's good.
I only set a timer because it didn't have the time to load.
You can do that more.
Can we do that?
So it's a little bit tricky. I'm sure. Just okay. So it's just where it is to get it from. So I'll go to the plus and go down, and then go to its. Okay, actually, I guess he's got it all installed. So it would be in the marketplace, and then installed, and it's like it's so funny now. It's got them all installed, and these are like all kind of powerful things. Like just to be aware. Like it's a tool. They even go for and I use the timer. I use the timer for tons of things. Yeah, they count down. And probably just 1 second, or whatever you want, time-wise. Okay. And then you're gonna make it invisible, right? Yeah. So don't even worry about that. But then timer. And yeah, so you can style it. Stop doing it. Something I haven't gone around though is when you make it invisible and forget who they are. So it's kind of a good thing to be consistent. Like if you're going to do it, have it like always be on the same I minimize, I make it as small as possible, and I like leave it as a dot. Just and you don't need to do that. That's just like because you forget. Like it's see, this is where it's so challenging if you have other developers working on it. Like they're gonna be like going, oh my god, why is this happening? Then they're gonna find out you've got an invisible timer. Like how would they know, right? Okay. Yeah. Now be careful. I was confused. So it's not the top one because they have to click the timer. You want to do it when it's finished. Yeah. Now you still have the other one,
Still
right?
have the one.
Perfect. It's fascinating that it's kept the timer going.
No, I stopped. Hold on.
But do you think it's recording?
Yeah, it's
Okay, okay.
So I've noticed that the image is not sticking to the bottom.
So there's an option for that. And the edit styles. That's like right there. Exactly. That's kind of cool, right? We're getting there. You can see how you can get really good refinement. Yeah. Like, I mean, already we're kind of making Twitter, right? Okay.
I'm not really concerned with the stuff as much as I'm concerned with the database.
Yeah. So we're getting there. Like, you know, like
do the well, we can just integrate this.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm curious if we can set up the color to be the default main color is blue.
So that's what we're on the side here at the top.
Oh yeah. And the blue color is primary color. Yeah.
It's challenging software to use though. It's kind of like Photoshop. There's just so many things you just don't know. Like you can do anything, but you don't even know what you don't know, right? Okay.
Weird stars.
When you enter in password, it'll automatically be to stars because you've chosen password. But a question would be like, you know, do you want to have it say like just password, or do you want to have like text above it saying password?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. So yeah, I think I'll just say email above it.
And is this the login screen or is this register screen?
This is the login.
Okay. And does Twitter have you log in with email, or is it with your Twitter handle? I feel like that's kind of like a headache for us right now, so just choose one. Yeah.
So we can do the same animation.
I don't think so, that I'm aware of. I think that's like actually like the library they're using rather than, you know, they are using their own internal boxes. But it's interesting, I can see how they would do all of them. So like it would be if number, then check the phone number database.
Yeah.
If with an @ sign, check the handle, or I guess, and if like, you know, dot or something, like they can see how they would figure that out.
I'm checking if we can.
So something with this is a lot of systems don't have all the options. So I usually turn to the major ones. So it's like So like semi-bold might not show on Android. They've given too many options for what the operating systems can actually do for some reason. So just be aware. That's like a major thing of testing, where like there's just so many different device varieties from the laws, because sometimes I think we go like a little bit too much where we make things really complicated, and then it's like, you know, a pain to get it working on everything, where like simple is just usually easier to deal with. Sorry, the laws. Login's one word by pronoun. Yeah. It's funny too when somebody watching you. I was going to say something, but I didn't need to say it.
We need to know the person.
Yeah. Okay. Now, okay, you've already made your group. Cool.
Yeah.
You could ask questions too on anything else you're thinking.
One word.
I'm not actually sure. What do they do? Here they have it as 2 words. Okay. Then you might want to get your login consistent.
So now we'll have. Okay, so how about the sign up?
Well, so like I would think that you want to have like the thing you're aiming towards. So I would make like an empty home screen, just so you can kind of like complete the flow, because right now it feels like you're kind of bouncing back and forth. You can just literally have nothing on it, so that then you can like end at home and go like basically I'm done, right? And test the functionality and look at the database of what's going on, because we should start thinking of the database.
So this should be the
Yes. No, the home screen will probably be another splash, but this is okay for now. So this is your home screen, but when someone opens the app and is logged in, we still want them to, because then you have like control, like say you want to like force them to update, things like that. But this is okay for now. It's just something to kind of realize that like actually we want to always have a splash be the first page.
So when I'm curious about checking the database, the email password are correct, and then taking the user to the home screen.
Yeah, let's do it. We can do that. So let's start. Okay, that input is going to confuse you because you're going to do tons and tons of inputs. So this is email. Yeah. So I'm going to direct you a little bit on this just so you're not like playing around with the user interface, right? So now you're going to go to your login button. You're going to do add action, create user. Wait, do add another action for a second. It's actually, so user is a specific one. It's a little bit different than all of them. It's actually under more. user login, sign up.
This is the login screen.
Oh, you're correct. My apologies. So then it's going to log the user in. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you could use this, so like for user exactly. Form inputs in there. Aren't you glad you updated that from input?
So thinking about creating an account.
That's kind of Oh, and we forgot the link. Exactly. So you are logged in right now.
So what if the login fails?
Let's try.
I think we are logged in.
So you might have different browsers do it differently. You might want to go to the private browser. Will it keep the recording going?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so you're not choosing that. And each time you test it in a new private browser. Cool. Now let's try it wrong. So you're logged in now. So no, it'll actually probably have to be an entirely new browser. So you have to close your private browser, make a new one. It's funny though, on my computer, it doesn't, like it does it automatically. Like it's just weird. It's different between browsers. It's a real failure of this progressive web app. I think it's such cool technology. See? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But then what happens when it will go to the next thing? Okay, so it freezes there. So it's frozen in that chain. It doesn't let you go past. Now, which is what we want, right? You have made something. Okay. And something to be aware of is, so just, you know, with the login registration, something's just a little bit funky, but there's actually a forgot password that is a command that is separate. So you actually like can just do the words forgot password, and then it's like a little, you only use it for the forgot password functionality.
So let's do the sign up.
No, let's do the forgot password there. Because that's the best practice, right?
So what should it do?
So it's just an action. Actions. It's just like under that login, same thing under more. User login. Forgot password. You're done. That is it. And you can try clicking it if you want to see what it does. I assume because it's like a password integrity, so they're using their own security system that's following best practice, so we can never touch user passwords.
They should send an email.
Yeah,
To that.
it makes sense. Like basically, they're like it's like a way of security. Yeah. Okay.
So now we do the sign up.
You know how you can copy, yeah, you can copy the entire screen too, right? Yeah, exactly.
So I want to add some fields like full name or just user.
Let's go look at what Twitter did. Oh, in the future, just make sure you don't have anything like weird anywhere.
So let's go with email.
And Twitter handle. Yeah, I mean, we can copy it as much as you want, right?
Email. So the field doesn't use.
Sometimes I'll just make like a page as like a library, but I've gotten lazier to where I just like will actually go through and go like, okay, what do I copy? You know, something with this, go back to it for a second in the options. So you can change the style and like date and time. You're not choosing the time, it's just the date. And you like actually test the difference between date text input. One is nicer than the other, I forget which is which. That's probably more useful.
This is, so you would write that down.
So when you open it, it opens the interface from the system. So you can try to, you gotta make the link to the page. Maybe name it something nicer than login too. I feel like this Grammarly thing is like somebody's stealing a lot of information. It's like too deep in your interface. Like they're tracking everything you spell. Yeah, it's just like they've got like too many permissions on the computer. Like these are the sort of things like the CIA scripting funds.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's part of the operating system, so it'll do the default one. Like it's like this. It's not this view; it's the one that the operating system supports.
Yeah.
But you can change it if you want to one of the other ones, and it'll have like basically the options there is it does a different interface in terms of the what the. It's on different operating system. Yeah. So, oh, and you know you can of course extend the page down, right? So like quite often I'll like start the page, have it way down, so I feel like I've got plenty of space to play in.
And would it be the right size when, even if the phone screen is like smaller than this?
Yeah, custom labels.
Yeah. Okay.
Though, like I do try to like they'll like play around, so I try to keep all the screens the same horizontal width, but vertical makes no difference.
So,
Do you want to have do we want to have the handle here, or do we want to see how they do that? I guess it's a question like how. Like, I'm happy to copy that exactly.
you have to make it the exact same.
No, not at all. Like let's just do the core things. Okay, let's start just doing it ourselves because we know what we need to do. We need to choose a handle at some point, right? So the key question here to think about is what happens if an email or handle is already
It's
taken.
already taken. You should check the database.
Exactly. But that pop-up is a new screen. So you actually have to prepare that pop-up screen of this email is already taken. Yeah. So what you'll do is you'll literally like basically you'll do a conditional like is email already taken? If it is, send to that pop-up screen. Is handle already taken? Send to that pop-up screen. Then if neither one, then it's sign user up. You understand? Now this is one of the screens that you can see, like so do the plus new screen. You'll see they have an add screen. Then you go down, and this is one that makes your life easier. Miscellaneous, modal. Email validation. You probably want to do a different one for email from so I. You can format this like to the way you want, depending on what you want. It's probably fine as is. So what is when we sign up? Yeah. So it should, okay, so let's say the email is wrong or is already used. So let's do add another action, link to email validation. Okay, now however you want. Okay, no, show advanced. Okay, sometimes. Okay, this is, yeah, email is, okay, let's think about this for a second.
So how do we check the database records?
Okay, no, so this is something that's like two. So I'm gonna totally change this. So, okay, for one, what I'll tell you is that actually in ADALO, they won't let you sign up with an email that already exists. So they'll do one of their custom things. That's kind of annoying. So normally they would allow double duplicates for people registering with like, you do that in other things. But what we can do is something a bit different. It's going to be a little bit tricky. Are you ready? Okay. Create a box saying email already exists. What we're going to do is we're going to have to cover this if the email already exists. Yes. That you're going to over top the sign And you'll actually put like over the top of the side. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make a list. And the list will be populated of all users that equal that email address or that username. And what it's going to say is the username already exists. But then if you have a unique username, there'll be no data entries. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so let me say it again because it's kind of like a working logic about how stuff works. So like lists are a real key part of like everything. Right? So like say when you're doing messages, it's a list of messages. But like you control what's in the list. You've got a lot of control over the list. So what we want to do now is basically, we want to have a list. So this is going to be a list of all users that have usernames with this. And it's just going to be a box saying usernames taken. And we're going to limit the list to only one, because we don't need it to be one. But then when it's a unique username, the list populated will be empty, revealing the button below it.
Oh, yeah. Got it.
Yeah. So maybe you can keep this below the thing for now, just so we can see what we're working with. Because it's one of the, again, like complexities of having multiple people working on it. You forget what's behind things, and it's like. So you can kind of. So if you want, so okay, something I would like just to get in the habit of is to make tons of space on everything. So like this is why you don't even want like this, like keep things, like 10 times, move it over this way. Perfect. Now like make this one like twice the length. Perfect. Okay, now you can click this, make list under the 3 dots. Cool. Okay. So this is going to be a list of, yeah, no, yeah, go ahead. Yeah. So this is where things start to get tricky. For now, you can do all users, because this is actually with how databases connect with each other. So do all users, then you can do add another filter. And then email is equal to the field. Exactly. And actually not equal to, contains. It could be equal to, actually. Equal to is fine. Either or, yeah. Just sometimes, like when we're doing a search box, like I usually just do contains, because it contains includes equals, but also kind of includes some shenanigans. So sorting, yeah, like that's if you're doing something different, right? What you want to do is, so we don't need to have this list of all of them. We don't want to see 1,000 boxes. So I'll just do one. So now you can format it, and you can extend this. You might as well just, like I usually just for best practice, if it's going to be one, I push it up so I only see one. Exactly. So, but actually leave those below just so I can show you some things. No, extend it back down. So what you'll see is when you drop the formatting elements on top, it goes all the way through. But sometimes it's buggy. Like it just won't capture it properly for some reason. It's just a bit buggy. So you just have to make sure that when you add an element, it does carry all the way through.
I've had some issues with working with them.
Yeah.
So now the format. So the idea is if the email matches an email from the database, the button wouldn't appear.
Yeah. Well, and actually, technically, the button does appear, which is something that's appearing in front of it.
Yeah. So let's keep it quiet. Of
then just have like text or something like, email, the account already exists, something like that. Now, why didn't it populate below it?
Because it's not in the.
Well, no. Can you? So did you shrink the menu? No. Did you the list? Okay, I think you moved this out of the list. Yeah. So okay, keep this a color if you don't mind, just for now, just while we're working on it. So I think we've lost the list. Keep it blue for now? Or, oh, there, okay, that's why you did it. Just keep it there until we're done.
Yeah.
Just because, again, just because things get lost, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just barely like, you don't know if you don't have it extended. Well, do you want to kind of be even fancy here? So you could do actually have that username say like, that username is already taken. Yep. Well, an email is fine. They'll do that automatically for us. Let's just do it for the handle, just for our own purposes. And maybe we've got to update that in the filter. So we haven't actually named that text field, have we? And it's like hard to like. This is like stuff like when I do it 1,000 times a day, but like you only punish yourself, right? And we actually have to update it so it's actually handle. And we haven't made handle in the database yet, have we? So let's go look at the database. So here, no, wait, just pause for a second. Now let's just think of what we have here. No, but what's username? Make that handle, right?
We don't have.
You can delete it if you want. I don't actually know. They don't like you delete some of these ones. I don't know. Like the users. Yeah, just the users. So everyone has to have a text field, a field at the top. And for some reason, users, maybe it's to do with the way they do the tests, the forgot password.
So
we can think of it's not for something later. Like just let's just deal with handle now. So did you grab it from the database or from the field? From the field. And I think your list is searching for the email, not the handle. The actual list. So it's emails should be handled. No worries. Okay. So we need to make one with a handle, yeah. Because I guess, well, how did you do that? Oh, when because you did it from the back end, yeah. Okay, fine. Use what see what happens. No, should be fine. It is always visible, but if it's empty, it'll not show anything. Right? I'll be honest, like even these basic things, like sometimes they just don't work the way you expect them to. So sometimes then you'll try to refine it, but then sometimes they get trapped. And I'll go, okay, I'm just gonna scratch it and do it from a different angle. That makes sense. Okay, now why didn't it show?
Because I think it's only allowed to write lowercase in the database. Using
Different. Cool, right? Cool. Hey. Very cool. I mean, how would you do this in like WordPress or something, right? Like we can't. Like this is super custom stuff.
it is.
Okay, great. Now, what's going to be a pain in the ass is we need to be moving this down because we've got to start adding things to that button, right? Literally though, like, did I ever do that article about how like software development is about what you can hold in your head at the same time? Because like, basically like, if you were to try to translate to me everything that you're doing right now, like it takes you longer than it takes to make. It's a well-known fact in software development. It's longer to explain than to build. It's one of the reasons why it's challenging, right? But it's one of the magics of ADALO, is even compared to normal software development, because you can just go so fast, right? You know, if we entered the development environment, we would have actually just set this development environment, spent like 15 hours, and already have like 1,000 lines in your head. Okay.
So we have the email validation.
Cool. Okay, now you made a small mistake. So you copied the page, and then you saved click actions from the other page. It's like a really like thing I always stumble over. You just forget about it, right? But then you like it's one of those things you go, what am I? Why is this not going the way I expect? Okay. Okay. So this will be this more thing again. This is user, so it'll be user login, sign up. And normally you would do this on a form, but we chose not to do a form.
To make us. Here's about the advanced section.
Well, this is just this. Well, we'll do it. Okay. Wait. So handle should have an @ sign.
What do you mean?
Is this a handle? Yeah, we see it, right? So we'll do it for this. We'll do it sometimes, and do it for that form input for handle. Does not contain. We're gonna actually do it the other way. Sorry. Do contains. Contains add. And then then take that out. Just the @ one. Then you're gonna do this exactly that you're gonna do with the next one. No. Yeah, that's well, you can only link. So, what is this doing? What is that? Because it's that should be above sign up.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. What you should do is actually have the sign up happen on a next page. So sometimes it's just like things like this. Sometimes you just have that happen in orders you don't want it to do. And this could be an example of that actually. So let's actually get rid of sign up, and then we're gonna have like another splash screen.
Yeah.
Let me just say one thing. So like basically, someone puts an ad on the handle, it should not add an ad in the database. Yeah. But if someone forgets to put an ad, then it should add the ad. So that's where you kind of use that sometimes feature. Like registration splash or something. When you start to like realize how these work, you see these like all over apps. Like it's a very common thing to kind of use these sort of things. You can even just like grab a word and have it in the background or something. But just FYI, I feel like best practice is like usually better to leave that as the background instead of an image. Just well, at least I do that. I guess, well, you don't actually have to. It's just like that is like from a layer perspective. So like say you want to add things later. It's good to know that it's in the very background, but you're right, you don't have to do it. It's just like that is the way it's fielded. It's just, you want to be consistent to how you're doing it. So this needs to link to here. It would only happen if this one is false, right? So that one's fine. Wait. What were we trying to do here?
To validate the.
So the email, it does it automatically. Well, Shit, I'm getting confused. And this is, so they actually like do start you with like default sign up. It's like you can see sign up and like they probably have exactly things like this and it was confusing people. The reason why we're doing this is because of ordering. We actually, it'll do it itself. We actually don't need to splash. We don't actually need to email validate because they do it automatically. The system we're doing is for like other database items, but just the sign up stuff is a little bit custom. Yeah. Yeah, so you build the sign up just as you did before. And if the email address already exists, it'll tell you in a way that you're not instructing it, but you would have to instruct it for other database items in the future. So, yeah, user login and sign up. My apologies. Why is it
why is it?
Oh, we don't have a database field for date, so we need to add that. So you need to go to your database.
Full name is it the same?
No, because you haven't added a date field yet for date of birth. So you need to add a database field for it. So just, no, not here. Just add property. There. Exactly. Date of birth. And something to be mindful of is the ordering you have these in, just because when you get a lot of properties, like it's just, something to be mindful of that you have control over them. There you go. Do me a favor, no, here will be fine. Sometimes with date, you'll click this little guy, the pencil guy, and it'll ask you to choose the different dates. So just kind of be aware like that it will want you somehow to do it, but not here. But say, for example, if you did full name the date, just to try it, you'll see. And you see it's already asking you, yeah, you can do that. And try clicking the little guy there. And see now it's asking you how you want the date. Because this isn't a date field, this is a text field. So yeah. Just FYI.
Okay, so is it okay with ADALO if I leave this?
You can leave empty.
So
and you can,
it has a record
it'll just be empty. So we'll probably use that space later for something else, and then you can update this at any time, right? Like that's like a big thing. What happens with databases? You're updating that record, right? Wait, you're creating it's got a link to that page. And you don't want to make sure your transition. So this is where transitions gets to be a pain in the butt, because you have to remember there's consistent transitions of every one. The transition button. So it's fine if you're doing nothing, but its default is push. So you just have to think of what you want it to be. By the way, we're gonna be hitting our 90 minute.
I'm cool with
Sure. Yeah. So we might want to be thinking of food at some point, and Harry and one else. Let's hit the 90 minutes, then evaluate where we're at. It's also like, good to quit while you're having fun. Let's get to the 90 minutes. Okay.
user. Why is it taking
that long? It could just be something weird that I can't imagine. But stuff like that is, fascinating to think of too. Like you can do things in different ways, and the speed will be different. But like I don't, yeah. But like I would be concerned if it's always that slow. But I don't think so. Let's try yeah, can you make a fresh login? And actually do me a favor and clear out your database. Just click on it, the two records inside, and you can just highlight, well, actually highlight the button above it, yeah, delete two records. Basically, we just want to like see if it's that slow again. And is our internet something slower? Okay. Yeah. It was noticeably slow when I wasn't doing anything hard.
I think it is. Does it usually take that long?
So actually, question. But okay, there's something bizarre going on here. Oh, but you didn't enter in the email address. But what I actually do is I have on the Splash, I create an account in the background, and then I update the information to get away from the load time and also give me control where a user can be logged in anonymously and like basically like, so you don't need to do, so the way we're doing this is a bit different than I do it myself. But let's see how the speed is this time. Let's try it again. Yeah, okay, better.
How do you do the timer? The background, the front of the user.
Oh, so like I do it in Splash. Right? So what I do is I go to Splash. So I would do create user here. And then it's actually like, so even like instead of having your timer on there, I would use the create account and then have it create, and it's an anonymous account with like just like, but like I wouldn't worry about it.
The account will set up and then
yeah, these updates faster. Yeah. And also like often, so like right now when you're not logged in here, yeah, it just gives you more power and stuff, right? And I also like love to have like people be able to demo the app before they log in. So like it's nice to kind of like be a logged in environment, but in a
more efficient to do the same exact thing when the user clicks sign up. On the sign up mode.
You already do it. Because all you would do is, the only thing you change is, here, so here you would change that date. So when you sign up, that's fine. So here you would do, here on the button you do date. Instead of sign up, it's actually delete that. Okay, so delete this. And then it'll actually be another action update, logged in user. And then it'll be the same. But here, you get into the problem of people able to duplicate email addresses. But one problem at a time. Let's wait for that problem to crop up, then we can solve it. And that's fine, but then we need to create the user on the Splash screen. So you can actually delete it now. But you'd go to the actions.
Delete the timer.
Because we're going to use the creation of the as the timer. Now this is kind of fun. So what I do is you need a random variable.
Yeah.
So I use current time. This is my personal hack. So I do current time. Check it. And I do not relative. I do no formatting. But then actually, sometimes I'll be like myself checking things so quickly, it's still not random. So then I'll go, it's just like kind of like for you to play around with. So then I go additionally, new formula, into it, choose it, the red magic text, a function, rand, do 1,000, comma, 10,000. It'll choose a number between 1,000 and 10,000 in bracket. Yeah, close the bracket, there you go, screen. So now it's going to do current time and then add a number to it. So basically you can have a lot of people logging in at once. You're building for scale, right? And even you could do it for a million, like, you know, like, but now you're building for scale. Okay, and then out of here. And then it has to be an email address or it won't let it do. So I just do like add noexist.com or something. And then it needs to be a unique password. So I use current time, the same thing for the password, but I don't do the other stuff. I just do, because the current time is like, but I will, so a key thing, if you do relative, it'll actually enter it as a few seconds ago. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. And then you could do something like, you know, unassigned or something. You know, you could leave it empty, or you could like just type unassigned or whatever you want, right?
Before we have the
You can even handle MD2 if you want to, it's your choice. Okay, now let's actually do this in slow mo. Let's share, then look at the database, then update and see what's happening with the database. You can see how like density of time that way, like.
Yeah, you forgot to add a function.
Yeah, I was testing you on that. I mean, so what I do is I usually do my link to the page first, just so I don't forget it, because sometimes you just get so buried.
Well, as you saw before, I couldn't arrange.
They always put the link on the bottom. That was something just with the sign up thing. The sign up thing is painful. Cool, let's take a look at the database.
Yeah, because
yeah.
So does it work? So it should work.
Yeah, let's see. Sometimes it's just like kind of weird though, and it could be the internet being buggy for a second, or like who knows, right? Okay. Okay, let's think of why. So let's. Okay. Okay, so this is where this gets a little bit tricky, because these things can build up on top of each other. Did you do a real email address for the ad site and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, show me. For our relationships. Because we're kind of like now doing things a little bit outside of how ADALO wants it, so they're almost like haven't predicted the way we're doing this. I wouldn't always get in the habit of leading, that's just. It is a bit slow too doing that. That's like it just back. Something's missing. What's missing? I think. Okay, we'll go back to the screen. So this is just like literally like the problem solver. Okay, what could it be? So it's linking to home. So it thinks, okay, wait, show me update user. Logged in user. Okay. Current user. I don't know what the difference is. It's normally not there. We are. Let's try it and see what happens. You know, the world is a funny place. Now, this is going to be a headache just with how we're setting it up, because we actually had to set it up to be a bit more proper than that.
We pushed it down.
Let's check. Yeah, that's correct. Because the other one was okay, so now it's working. Now we can dwell and go, what's the difference? Or we just move on. Yeah. But it is like stuff like that you just kind of have to remember. And the thing is too, you get it working once, then you kind of move on. Cool. Okay, wait, and let's move this up. Now let's never remember that button is there for the rest of our lives. Okay, cool.
I think would be a cool feature to get could add notes.
Yeah, I feel like that would be like a cool little layer behind it. Yeah. So I gotta say, like, I'd say we're at 90 minutes. I think like that's good. Let's stop and go get some food and watch a movie with these guys. So let's stop the video. That's okay. Let's do the video storage.